Oh, yes, we'll do that.
Hello, we're here. We're 2 minutes late. It's my fault.
Oh, it's usually me. Welcome to Dinner's going to be a little late tonight. Special holiday edition, live cook-along.
Yep, here we are 2 days after Thanksgiving, right? And because we were having the Thanksgiving week, we decided not to do this show during the week when no one would be watching and everyone would be fussing and running around with their last-minute cooking stress. So we're doing it today instead, and we focused on the leftovers part, right, Patti?
Yes, my favorite part. I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving dinner, honestly. It's my husband's favorite holiday because he doesn't have to buy any presents. And he gets to normally watch football and sit around and eat. But my favorite thing is the leftovers. And my favorite thing in particular is making my mother's turkey soup. So that's what we're doing today. We're making Mama's turkey soup, which I'll tell you all about. But first, let's go back in the time machine to last week, which seems like a million years ago now, honestly. This holiday seems to be dragging for me a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. But John, let's talk about that famous white chicken chili.
So yeah, last week we made the white chicken chili that everyone loves. And if you didn't make it, you really should, because I don't know, I've never met anyone who didn't like it. And that's not just me talking about my recipe. It just is. White chicken chili for some reason is one of those things that's so widely loved. And so I have it in my cookbook. The recipe's in my cookbook. It's on the blog at 2 Dads with Baggage. But last week we made it, and it comes together super, super fast. So it's delicious. Try it at home, please. And this recipe today is also super fast, right, Patti?
It is. There's a little prep involved. But let's just, shameless plug, talk about your cookbook for a second. It hit the market on Tuesday. The pre-orders are out. Sydney got her copy in New York Tuesday. I know, because she uses my Amazon account, and I know every single thing she buys on Amazon. That was very exciting. And I know you did great with your pre-sales. And what a perfect Christmas gift.
Thanks. That's very sweet. Yeah, it's doing really well. And thanks to all of you out there that have ordered it, and those that don't even know me that have ordered it. It's going like number one on cookbooks for men on Amazon. So yeah, it's kind of exciting.
I feel like I know a celebrity.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. But if you haven't already placed your order for it, it's called One Pan Cookbook for Men. And yeah, you should get it.
It's got great recipes. And we'll be making one in a few weeks, another one. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So today we're making Mama's turkey soup. And we have one other little accompaniment that my husband thought of last night when we were in the hot tub. So my mother, her grandmother name was Tutu, because that's Tutu in Hawaiian. And when her first granddaughter was born, I was living in Hawaii, and my mother loved Hawaii. So she decided she was going to be Tutu. So with our Mama's turkey soup today, we are making Tutu's toast. And that's kind of a fun, silly little, hey, there's my sister. I'm going to interrupt myself. She says, look at both of my sisters bought copies. Go, Lynn. That's my sis, Lynn. Yay! Thank you, Lynn.
Lynn, you're very sweet.
So let's talk about turkey soup. So
okay,
turkey recipe is super easy. So,
Patti Senior's turkey soup.
Pardon me?
Patti Senior.
Patti. Oh, well, we never called her Patti Senior. She didn't like that. But now that you mention it, she was Patti 2, and she was Patti 1. I'm Patti 2, or I was Miss P. And can I just tell you how confusing it is to have your mother have the same name as you do? Just saying. So we're going to start now. I know maybe some of you.
Now, wait a minute. That isn't really your name now, is it?
We'll get to that. Let's get the vegetables.
No. What is your real name?
My real name, my given name on my birth certificate is Mary Margaret Patricia Carruthers.
There you go.
My child.
Yes.
When I graduated from college, from UC Berkeley, who lost the big game yesterday, all by themselves, but I'm not going to talk about that either. I got my alumni card, and it said Mary Margaret Patricia Ka. So I wrote back and said, may I please get a alumni card that has my name on it? Mary Margaret, I was the last of 3 girls. Parents had to appease both grandmothers. So Grandma Peg and Grandma Mary I got Mary Margaret. Let's take it one step further. I was born on St. Patrick's Day, my mother's favorite holiday. She was Irish. So I was Patti, even though that's my middle name. I went by Patti, and it was a terrifying childhood. If the phone would ring, may I please speak to Patti? Which one? Blah, blah, blah. So
Terrible.
anyway.
Love that story. Hi, Diva. Thanks for getting the book.
Yay. Hi, Diva.
Okay, so we're melting butter in the pan.
We're melting butter in our pan, and then we're going to add our, this is like the holy trinity of Thanksgiving. I've got this religious thing going today. That's because I'm watching this terrible show called Filthy Rich. So John's are still all pretty and separated. I did mine yesterday, and I have so little room in my refrigerator, I threw them all together in one big bag. So we've got a chopped up onion. So if any of you are doing this in real time with us, I hope somebody is, because it's so easy, and you'll have dinner ready in a half hour.
How much butter was it, Patti?
4 tablespoons, because everything's better with butter.
Which is half a stick.
Half a stick, half a cube. So one thing I want to say about this recipe, I love the comments today. This recipe is like pretty much all of my mother's recipes. There are no ingredients. I mean, there are no quantities. So this is the dictated recipe from my mother. It just has the ingredients, and everything else is like, figure it out. So, that's what I love about it. So if you want more vegetables, you don't like carrots, you don't like celery, there's the beautiful celery. That's about 4 celery stalks, 1 onion, and about 3 or 4 big carrots. And we just chopped them up, cubed them up nice and little, which I find very therapeutic. And we're just gonna saute these bad boys. I forgot to get
Yeah, well, this boy don't got time for that. So mine are a little bit bigger than tiny. Yours, but you have a small mouth, so your pieces need to be tiny.
Yeah, and I have really bad teeth. As you might recall, this week I had to get an emergency root canal and a new crown. But again, I'm not going to talk about that either. So we're going to let that simmer. We're going to let that saute for a while. This is what's going to take the longest of the whole recipe. So we're going to do that, and then with it, we're going to put some sage, ground sage, and you can use fresh sage for sure, and poultry seasoning. And I think John has some poultry seasoning.
So you guys, I was freaking out because I didn't think I had poultry seasoning, which I do, but I had to search for it. It was in the back. You know, like you have that spice rack, and it's like the stuff you never use is in the back, all the way in the back, and you can't see it because it doesn't say anything on top, and you're looking for it, but you have to lift up every single one of them to see which spice it is. Yeah.
Just like this?
But you can't see it from the top. You don't know what you're.
No,
I know. I'm the same thing. So I didn't know I had poultry seasoning. I was freaking out and Googling what is poultry seasoning. So if you do not have poultry seasoning in your home, you can make it if you have these other ingredients. And I don't know if you would have these other ingredients if you didn't have poultry seasoning, but it is a combination of thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg. And then ground up really fine. So that is poultry seasoning. And if you have all those other things in your spice rack and you're like searching for the poultry seasoning, you have an alternative. Or you could run to the store and buy poultry seasoning, which you should have anyway, I guess. Patti, you love poultry seasoning, right?
I love it's right up there with cumin, John, one of my favorite spices. So like I said, these carrots, or this combination, especially with the carrots, it's going to take a few minutes to saute. So
okay, so you said cumin, and we had this conversation last week. So I want to know from the folks that are watching at home, do you say cumin or do you say cumin? So I want to know. Let's see your votes. Come on in.
Hear it. Watch it after. Put it on Facebook. Let us know.
Cumin or cumin?
Cumin.
This was the debate last week when we were making white chili because it calls for cumin.
I'm going to start with a tablespoon of each. Again, you can adjust it if you like it. We can also we'll adjust.
Are you putting those in now?
Yeah, because you saute it in the vegetables.
Oh, okay. I'm putting it in. I just put in the poultry seasoning and now I put in the sage.
Me too.
Interesting that it calls for sage because sage is in the poultry seasoning.
Right.
Okay, Viva says cumin.
All right, Dee, he's with me. So the other thing about this, kind of the origin story of this turkey soup, it uses a lot of the same ingredients as my mother's stuffing did. I noticed as I was making it, and I was getting ready to make it. So it's basically a soup version of stuffing with turkey.
Without the bread.
Instead of bread, you've got turkey stock. So while this is sauteing, we can talk about the stock too.
That smells good.
Doesn't it? Oh my gosh. One of my favorite things about making this soup is making the stock, because it's like Thanksgiving. So on Thanksgiving, you cook the turkey and your house smells amazing. And then the next day you make the stock, or whenever you're ready, and your house smells amazing. So I think John was a little freaked out by his carcass on Thursday night. He sent me a picture of his carcass. Your carcass was very big. How big was your turkey?
So you know how when I ordered the turkey from Lazy Acres, and you don't really get to tell them I want X number of pounds. You get between 16 and 20 pounds, or you want 20 pounds to 24 pounds, or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted 16 pounds, but I got 18 pounds. So it was an 18-pound turkey for 4 people.
I don't want to one-up you, but 22-pound turkey for 3 people.
Wow. Well, that's good for leftovers. Well,
and that was my theory. So every year I make the turkey. I'm old school. I put my stuffing in that cavity. I know. I'm going to die of trichinosis. My mother's here. A hummingbird just flew right into my atrium. So I like a big.
So also, Lynn, weighing in with the cumin. All right, people.
Cumin. So I totally forgot what I was going to say. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh my God, first senior moment on the show.
We're talking about making the stock.
Yeah. No, there was something.
Which freaked me out last night, you guys, because I was like, oh, I guess I better make the stock. Patti said to make it the night before. And so I didn't have anywhere to store the carcass of the turkey from Thanksgiving. So we had shoved it into the freezer. And so I'm taking it out of the freezer, and it's frozen. So it's not it's kind of stiff, and I'm trying to shove it into the stock pot, which wasn't going very well. And so I had to get it thawed and then stick it in the stock pot, and then put all the stuff in and then boil it for hours. And so at 11:30 last night, I'm trying to figure out how to get the stock from this pot of mess, right?
All right, let me give you a couple tips.
Please.
So,
do. I've never done that before.
It's kind of a gross thing, but here's a little hack. The carcass doesn't have to fit all the way in the pot. So when I make my stock, I use this big pot. I stick the carcass in it. I put in some carrots, some celery, some onion, starting with the theme, some peppercorns, a bay leaf, and fill it up with water. The carcass sticks out. But as it cooks, and I start it at 11 in the morning and finish it at 4. I love the smell. The carcass, gets soft under the water, and then you can just smash it down. And you just
see?
I didn't say that because should I add that to the recipe? Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it sticks out. Eventually it'll break down. And then after it's been simmering forever and ever and ever, and it smells delicious, and now the bone, everything's fallen off the bones. Then you can just take tongs or a slotted spoon and take out all that gunk. You let it cool a little bit first because it's hard to take that stuff out because that's hot. Take that stuff out, and then I get a smaller pot, which is this one, which is the one where it's living right now, and I take a really fine sieve and strain it in there. Then you throw that in the refrigerator, and preferably overnight because you want that layer of fat to float to the top. And then just a little while ago, about an hour ago, I just skimmed it off. So it's actually really easy, but don't be. So I found out a friend of mine is has a fear of carcasses. And then it went to this whole conversation with 4 of my girlfriends. We had a group chat. Then I found out that she was afraid of hummingbirds. And then I found out 3 of my 4 girlfriends have fear of birds in general. So I was is anybody else afraid of hummingbirds? She said she's afraid they're going to poke her eyes out.
I'm sorry.
I know. I have a hummingbird
carcass thing. I get the carcass thing because it's like carcass. Not word. Like, it's a word that you can use to describe unpleasant things. Also, say what?
Like dead bodies?
Well, carcass. It's not a great word, but that is the right word. And so, like, it's already gross from that. So here's the thing, guys. We made our own stock, turkey stock. You don't have to do that to make this soup. So it's just that you have this leftover turkey that you can boil, and that makes this delicious turkey stock. But you can also make the stock from Better Than Bouillon, which comes in a little jar and you can buy it at the store, or you can get cartons of turkey stock from the store already made, and just use that. So there's a lot of different ways you can approach this in addition to making the stock from scratch, which we did.
Absolutely. And if you're doing this live with us, I forgot to tell you, if you haven't already made your rice, start your rice. So that's the cool thing about this recipe. So you've got your leftover turkey, so you don't have to cook that. That's already done. You can make the rice in advance. You make the stock the day before. Oh, that's great. So actually, Dee Dee, that's fantastic. I didn't get a lot of fat either. So it just depends on if you didn't put a lot of skin or fat in the stock, then you're not going to get a lot of fat. So that's great. And I'm glad that you had the big kahuna turkey.
Well, she was smart. She took off the skin.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that, you guys. So there was a layer of fat on the top of the soup before I even cooled it and put it in the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. So I took that off. And then it cooled during the night. And when I took it out today to make this recipe, there was a layer.
Yeah.
And I scooped that off.
I guarantee you my mother never skinned the fat. I can guarantee that. So let's give this a couple more minutes because I want my carrots soft. Now again, if you like your carrots a little crispier, a little harder, go for it. So maybe while this was finishing up this, since once the vegetables are done, it's going to take like 5 minutes. How about if I do the wine pairing now?
Yeah. Let's talk about wine. I like wine.
So Psalm Sydney, she hooked me up. Her recommendation was initially a Pinot Noir. So yay, cheers.
Cheers.
Pinot Noir. But
in the afternoon on a Saturday, and yes, I
know.
Am.
Well, I also drink every Wednesday at 1:00 too. So I love my job.
Cheers.
So for us Californians, especially, I think John feels the same way, but my husband and I, we love the Russian River Valley in Sonoma County. They're famous for their Pinot Noir, and also Central Coast, San Luis Obispo County. We love the Pinot Noirs from there too. But having this daughter who's sommelier now, is trying to expand our horizons. So Sydney gives us the New World recommendation, which is the Pinot Noir, but she also gave us a couple of Old World recommendations. The first one is she recommends going with a classic red Burgundy, and that's made from the Pinot Noir grapes grown in Burgundy, France. But you know what Sydney says? Really just go with what you like. So the reason she recommends the red Burgundy is that the earthy qualities, I love that. I mean, this is a quote. The earthy qualities of the wine mixed with the bright fruit, fresh and subtle tannin is the perfect match.
I love it.
Don't you? So, but she said, or Mom, try Pinot's lighter, less expensive cousin, cheers, Gamay from Beaujolais. So Gamay is the grape, and this is an Old World recommendation. The region in France is Beaujolais. And Psalm Sydney actually had a post about this on her Instagram earlier this week, if you want to learn more about it. But it's
at Psalm Sydney, right?
Pardon me?
Psalm Sid?
Psalm Sydney. Not Psalm Sid, Psalm Sydney.
Okay.
She says it's easy drinking, fresh and fruity, and it's known as the Thanksgiving wine. So let's see. It's really pretty.
So while you're talking, I just wanted to say that last week I did a wine tasting from some wines from Temecula Valley. I live in San Diego, and Temecula Valley is about half distant between me and Patti. Patti lives in Palm Desert. Well, almost.
Indian Wells.
Same thing. Palm Springs area. So Temecula Valley has a beautiful wine growing region. I think they're up to close to 50 wineries. And I tasted several wines from Akash Winery, Akash. They were amazing. And also from Danza del Sol. And I'm drinking, because I did not have Gamay Beaujolais or Pinot, I am drinking the Grenache from Danza del Sol, and I know how you love Grenache, Patti. It's really good, and we have to go here when we can. So
remember,
Valley is pulling it together. These are some great wines.
we used to be members of that winery, but let's get back to the Beaujolais.
All right, back to the Beaujolais. Sorry.
That's all right. So Beaujolais region in France, but within this region of Beaujolais, there are 10 areas called crus. And these areas are the more elevated, higher end wineries. So what I picked out today with help from Sydney is, and this is really good, just telling you, this is a Beaujolais. The producer is Pardon and Fils, and it's from the Les Muets vineyard in the Julianas cru. I practiced saying that. I did it so much better earlier. So kind of fun, very reasonable price. You can get it at Total Wine. So something fun. If you like Pinot Noir, try a red Burgundy, try a Gamay Beaujolais. Before Sydney expanded our wine knowledge, Scott and I love wine. We would go to a restaurant, they would have this huge wine list, all of this old world European wine, and all we would focus on was the California wines. And now I look back and I think of all the different wines opportunities we missed. So I suggest try something new, try something different. And the wineries in Temecula are also beautiful. The vineyards, the wineries, the buildings are gorgeous.
Yeah, so Danza del Sol is the Grenache, and Akash we had tasted a Syrah and a Rosé. So yeah, there's some really interesting wines coming out of there. So Patti, mine is very, very ready.
Good.
Like bordering on, I think I really should either turn it down or put the...
Let's go on.
Okay.
Right, so now we're just going to add the stock. So here's my big pot of stock. And like said, if you don't want to make your own stock, or you're making your soup and you don't have enough stock, you can use turkey stock. You can also use chicken stock. The turkey's going to give it that turkey flavor. The poultry seasoning and the sage are going to give it that flavor that you expect. So we're going to add our stock. And then there was one thing missing from this recipe, but I felt like my mom meant to put it in because she put it in everything. My mom, and also because I said this tastes kind of like her stuffing, my mom put wine in her stuffing and I put wine in my stuffing. So I thought, put a little wine in the soup. So we're going to throw in about a half a cup of white wine in the soup. So we've got our stock, our soup, our stock and our wine. Now,
so do you think, Patti, that the things that you chose to flavor your turkey, like when you roasted your turkey, will affect the flavor of the stock?
I think so. I think if you really infuse the turkey with a lot of flavor, I don't do a lot. Do you do a lot? Do you?
So I used fresh thyme, fresh sage, lemons, oranges, and onions, and that's it. But I put it all in the cavity,
Yeah.
and then you know how you can reach up under the skin, between the skin and the meat. So I put the herbs under the skin, so it was between the skin and the meat, and then I cover the whole thing with butter.
Nice.
That was it.
Yeah.
So this is going to taste like thyme and oranges and lemons?
I would think. Well, I guess you'll find out. Otherwise, mine would just taste like stuffing because that's all I put in it. And I just.
Oh, so, okay, wait. So you put the stuffing in the bird.
Yes.
There's a whole debate about that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think that's what I forgot that I was talking about. I'm not afraid of trichinosis or whatever it is. I love my stuffing in my bird. That's why I buy that's what I was saying. That's why I buy such a big bird, because I want a big cavity. And then what happens every year is we have people over, not this year, but normally I think I bought the big enough bird. We have people over, they eat all the frickin' turkey. And then I have to go out and buy more turkey. I have to go out and buy like a turkey breast to make the soup. So this year I thought, I am not going to have to go out and buy more turkey. So we may be eating turkey till New Year's, but that's okay.
So I've always been freaked out about putting the stuffing in the bird, because at some point somebody told me, oh, if it's not cooked all the way, the juices from the bird soak into the stuffing, and then it doesn't get cooked all the way, and then you can accidentally make yourself sick. So I've ever since then I've been like, oh, I'm not doing that. So I put it in a pan, roast it in the oven, and now my family has gotten very used to and really loves crispy stuffing. So it's like it's all crunchy and crispy on the top, and it's soft and spongy underneath. But you get 100% spongy. Is that right?
No, because I have just as much stuffing in another casserole. I can't help it. I make stuffing. I could have fed 20 people, like easily. I could have fed my entire neighborhood. So yeah, but I like that too. And then like we pour a little stock or a little wine on it before you cook it in the oven, right?
Yep.
To make it
so good.
Moist. So another fun. So add in your turkey, and again, as much as you want.
So we're putting the turkey in.
Throw this turkey in, because right now all we're doing now is just reheating everything. Everything's cooked, right? So throw in the turkey, throw in the rice.
How much rice? 2 cups, right?
2 cups, but again, more or less. So why do I put rice in my turkey soup? Well, that's kind of traditional, but that's not traditional in my house. The reason we do it in my house is my father was Cuban, and he pretty much wanted white rice in with every meal. So we
I didn't know that.
Well, so
another guyism.
my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, they took the whole family to Maui, which was wonderful. And Lynn, I'm so glad you're watching this, because obviously my sister and her family were there too. And we were having a delicious dinner outside at Roy's, which if you know Roy's restaurants are wonderful food. We're sitting outside on the beach in Maui, in this beautiful restaurant, this beautiful view. My father gets his white rice, which of course is like the Japanese kind of sticky rice. And my father starts to eat his dinner and he proclaims, "This is the worst rice in Maui." And like, we probably say that every single time I make rice. Right, Scott? My husband is right over there. It's Saturday. He's home. He's hanging out. So yeah.
It would be a downer, but Roy's is one of the unfortunate victims of this pandemic, and all of them closed.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know it is. I feel so bad for restaurateurs right now, because they're having such a hard time if they don't have outdoor seating or even just serving enough people. So although we're teaching you to make delicious things at home, I also encourage you to get takeout from restaurants that you love, because they need you to. They really do.
That's why we have so many people in the desert right now, because we can do the outdoor dining. We're really fortunate now that it's not 120 degrees. So the other thing that I think makes this recipe a little different is the last thing we're going to add is whipping cream. This is not a cream soup at all, by no stretch of the imagination, but the whipping cream. And again, as much or as little as you like, you could leave it out. It just gives it a little creaminess. And at the risk of sounding like someone from the Food Network, I really think it elevates the flavor profile. It gives it a little, oh my gosh, I just love this stuff, gotta tell you. So now what you wanna do, this is more, mine almost gets to be more like a stew, because I like a lot of turkey. So now you can adjust it. You can add salt and pepper, which we haven't done yet. We want to do that. And if you want more of the seasoning, you can add that. If you want more whipping cream, sometimes I do that. And then let's just let it simmer for a little bit. And voila, you have a ton of turkey soup. And this freezes, I can't even tell, I'm too embarrassed to tell John how long I froze it for. But let's just say it freezes really, really well. And I had it after it being frozen for quite some time, and it was delicious. So
I'm going to guess that it was a year. Is that true?
It might be. You never know unless you try. And of course it was a year, because I make it once a year. So we have a little treat to make with it, but first I need this week's dish towel. John, can you read this? It says, "We'll be friends until we're old and senile, and then we'll be new friends."
That's us.
And that is us. But our mutual friend Susie gave me this, so I thought that.
Suzla. Cheers, Suzla.
So we're gonna very quickly, while we're just gonna let this heat through and simmer a little bit, we're gonna make what we call in our family Tutu's toast. So we made Mama's turkey soup, same lady. Now we're gonna make Tutu's toast. And my father also loved French bread and butter. So I think the origin story of this dish, which is only a dish, is that one night my mother made some meal and she didn't have any French bread. And Guido wasn't happy about that. So she took a piece of sourdough bread and just threw some.
Oh, so I don't have this because I didn't have any and it was too late for me to run out. But I told Triton to go get some, but I told him to get a sourdough baguette. So you're just using sliced bread.
Yeah, that's kind of the joke about it. It's like sandwich bread.
Okay.
So it's like, what do you have on hand to appease Guy so he won't be cranky? So, and it's old school. Just put some butter on the bread, a little garlic powder. Now I'm thinking about making it later, going fancy and using the garlic puree that I've been using. But garlic powder works just fine. And then just some Parmesan cheese on top. This is almost like, did you ever make English muffin pizzas after school?
Yes.
Maybe we could have an episode on after school snacks.
Oh, but they were so disgusting. I don't think anybody would want to replicate those for their kids.
Elevate them. Elevate them. Okay, so all I've done, little Parmesan cheese, little garlic. If you wanted to be fancy, you could do it on a baguette. You could use Gruyere cheese, which would be amazing.
So you just put butter, garlic powder, and Parmesan cheese.
And it's under the broiler for about a minute. And they'll come out a little bubbly, and it'll be delicious with
that. Sounds really good. Okay, so
how's your soup?
Well, done.
Yeah.
I mean, like done.
Yeah. Wasn't that hard?
Wow. It was harder to make the stock than it was to make the soup.
Yeah. But now that you know how to do the stock, next time you just stick it in there and then you just like wander around all day and do your stuff and you walk by and you add some more water and.
Oh, that was another thing. That was another question. You add more water, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know if I was supposed to do that. If I was watering it down.
Yeah, but you really don't because there's so much stuff. Like you can add your odds and ends, bones. Don't add the skin because that's going to just add fat to the stock. But you can add, the bones and stuff. Did you find your wishbone?
Yeah.
I found my wishbone. Oh, he's getting his wishbone.
I saved it. See? Look.
Let me
We're
see.
going to be very lucky.
Oh, nice.
I'm lucky. You're lucky. We're all lucky.
So you got to let it dry out for a couple days, right?
Yep, it's been drying in the window.
Nice.
So you cleaned yours off too. You didn't leave all the.
I found it last night when I was straining the stock. I was like, because Scott usually finds the wishbone when he's carving, and he didn't. And I was like, oh no, where's the wishbone? And then it fell right into the colander. All right, let's see if I didn't burn this. Oh, almost. Oh, and that little bread with that little bit of garlic powder. All right, how's your soup taste? Did you taste it?
Oh no, I haven't tasted it yet. Where's my ladle? Let me ladle myself up a little soupers.
I think mine needs more whipping cream.
What temperature are you cooking yours at?
The soup?
Yeah.
I just have it like medium, just
okay.
Through.
Oh, that's beautiful, and it smells really good.
Good. Let's see. Mm-hmm. That'll work.
Okay, can you see it? Friends at home? No, you can't really because the bowl, I can't tip the bowl enough for you to see it. But anyway, look. Really good.
All right. Beautiful.
Oh, look. Can you see that? Probably not, huh?
Here, I'll put it in the flat one. So here's my little.
That's good.
Let's see. Here's Tutu's toast. Crispy edges, all buttery and melty goodness. Right? Can't go wrong with that.
That is good stuff.
Good.
Love it.
Good. Let's see if I can show. So mine's really stewy. I take a big spoonful with a lot of vegetables and chicken, and then I'm going to add more broth on top. I don't know. Let's see if I can tip mine a little bit.
Oh yeah, that looks beautiful.
Good. All right. All right. So that's that. Bam. So cheers. So
Cheers to Patty Mom's turkey soup.
Patty 2, Patty 1, Patty Finn, Mama 2. Wonderful cook, wonderful lady. We're gonna have another dish from my mom next week, paired with a recipe that John is picking out. We're gonna make some lamb chops, correct, Mr. Bailey?
We are. We're gonna make lamb chops. I got sent a beautiful package of lamb chops. Actually, 2 packages of lamb chops, and from Purdue Farms. And I shared one with Patty when I saw her not too long ago. And so we're going to both make lamb chops roasted. And I have a couple recipe ideas that I'm choosing. So I haven't decided yet, but we'll let you know. And Patty, what are you going to make as the side?
I'm going to make my mom's cream spinach recipe, which is so good. It's so
I love cream spinach.
Oh, and my mom's recipe, again, is a little unorthodox, a little different than what you probably had if you've had it at a restaurant. It's not that runny, creamy. It's made with sour cream and so good. So we'll do that. And then we actually have a couple of weeks planned out. We're going to do holiday appetizers, and that's going to be fun because John's going to make something and I'm going to make something different. So the idea is in one episode, you'll have a couple of different appetizers, and then we're going to get a bubbles pairing from Psalm Sydney. And then the next week we're doing, I'm so excited, breakfast for dinner. We're making this insane French toast recipe from John's cookbook. And I have a special drink pairing with that I haven't told John about yet. So I'll tell John.
Ooh, that's so awesome.
Look, it's a Christmas morning, my family tradition. My sister, I'm sure, knows what it is. So.
You guys, I don't know about you, but growing up, when we had breakfast for dinner, it was the most exciting day of the week. We didn't do it all the time, but I swear to God, nobody got so excited about dinner as when it was breakfast for dinner. And I don't know why. It was probably the easiest thing for my mom to make, and so she just made it a big deal, and so then we thought it was a big deal. But like anytime I get to eat bacon, I'm good. Yeah. So like, you know, BLTs at lunch, breakfast for dinner, bacon, I'm in.
Well, the cream spinach has bacon. So hold on tight, John. You get bacon next week.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us. So
thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. The recipe will be on the blog in a matter of moments at twodadswithbaggage.com. So we've already got all the pictures and we've got the recipe all ready to go. So I'm going to leave the show, walk over there, push post, and it will be live. So you'll be able to make this at home if you didn't make it along with us. And thanks for tuning in and making it along. Thank you, Deanne. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. Really appreciate the support. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's going to be a little late tonight.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.